That's our church because that's where we spiritually can connect to something that was always there as Native Hawaiians. I feel connected to my ancestors. I feel connected to my culture. Like, our culture goes way beyond just language, dance.
You could say Ha'akeaolana was born with surfing in her blood. Her grandfather, Buffalo Keaolana, was a surfing legend. Ha'a's first memory of surfing is being on a board with him.
Since we were just little babies, before we could walk, we were here in the water. My grandfather was just always a waterman. He was raised in a time where a lot of our culture got taken away. You weren't allowed to speak our language, and sometimes some people couldn't even hula dance, and so that got lost. So I think naturally he just always connected to his culture through being a waterman in the ocean.
The 26-year-old represents a growing movement of Native Hawaiians celebrating and reclaiming the spirit of surfing that they say has been co-opted by pop culture and commercialized.
Being a Native Hawaiian, we were always raised to know that the Aina, the ocean, we respect it like an elder.
But in Hollywood, surfing has been portrayed as California cool. We're talking about films like Point Break and Surfer Dude.
I'm a surfer, dude.
Or in music, like the Beach Boys hit song, Surfin' USA. But drawings from Western explorers back in the 1700s and 1800s show surfing traces its roots all the way back to ancient Hawaii.
You have the documentation of the Westerners arriving in the late 1700s, and they were amazed by these things. There's these accounts where they're like, people would do these death-defying acts on these pieces of wood in waves that sailors were terrified of. The watermen of the West would never even attempt it, and these were like young women doing it, and it just blew their minds, literally.
The curators at Bishop Museum in Honolulu bringing out precious artifacts like boards that weigh over 100 pounds, or this one from the 1700s.
So this board is possibly the oldest board in the world.
The mass arrival of Westerners in the 1800s challenged native indigenous culture, with Hawaiians going to work in the sugarcane fields, and then surfing dwindled. Until this man came along, over 100 years later. Native Hawaiian Duke Kahanamoku was a 3-time swimming champion in the 1912 and 1920 Olympics, promoting Hawaii and surfing while traveling the globe.
How do you perceive the importance of Duke Kahanamoku?
He was the fastest man in the water. He was the Michael Phelps of his time. He was also an avid surfer in a time when there wasn't a lot of surfing happening in Hawaii.
And boy, did Duke's advocacy work. Now millions surf, and millions more buy into surfing culture, from the lifestyle to the clothing associated with the sport, like Quicksilver and Billabong.
The ocean for us is part of our heritage, part of our culture, part of our tradition.
Clyde Aikau is modern Hawaiian surfing royalty.
See it with Clyde right here.
He and his late brother, surfing legend Eddie Aikau, saved hundreds in the 1960s as the first lifeguards in Waimea Bay.
He was just the brightest star out there.
His story told in this ESPN 30 for 30 documentary, Hawaiian, the legend of Eddie Aikau. Eddie was lost at sea trying to save his friends after their voyaging canoe capsized in the open ocean.
To save someone's life and put your life in jeopardy is what Eddie did and is what we do. We never lost one person in 10 years.
Wow.
We didn't have any jet skis. All we had was fins and a surfboard.
Wow.
The surfing legend still honored with the iconic Eddie Aikau Big Wave Invitational on Oahu's North Shore.
Surfing is a place we go for a peace of mind. For us, it's always been someplace sacred.
He says it's a culture that's now big business.
From a cultural tradition of surfing, going back hundreds and hundreds of years to our royalty, fast forward to today, 2023, it's been turned into a make-money deal.
Surfing's estimated to be over a $4 billion industry. How much of that benefit do you think Hawaiians reap?
Zero. Zero.
But some Hawaiians are riding the wave of surfing's future.
Well, here we go. Carissa Moore.
The sport debuted in the Tokyo 2020 Olympics. Native Hawaiian Carissa Moore
Off the bottom. Good slash right there.
taking home the gold. She's now taking her place next to Duke in surfing history and inspiring a new generation.
It was a really huge deal to Native Hawaiians that Carissa brought home the gold, and we are so proud of her.
So as people like Ha'a shared this amazing sport with the rest of the world, myself included, the spiritual connection to Hawaii's history is not lost on its youth.
As a Native Hawaiian, I think being in the water, whether it be diving, surfing, sailing, anything in the water, that's me connecting to my people and our culture.
Hi everyone, George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel, and don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.